Hey guys, it's Amber. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share my April TBR with you all. So March was a bit of a weird reading month for me. I only finished, I think, 5 books in the month of March, which is by no means like bad or anything, but I did expect to kind of read more, but there was a lot that happened in March. I did a lot of work in March, a lot of personal things came up in March, so definitely a lot of books that I didn't get around to picking up. So for April, I'm kind of approaching my TBRs in general differently lately, so I'm not putting as much pressure on myself to read every single book that I put on my TBR, but I am trying to make more of a conscious effort of getting through all the books that I already own and making sure that any new books that I get, I'm reading them as quickly as possible so they don't just sit on my shelves for years and months and forever and are never read. I'm such a mood reader. I already know that whatever I want to read, or whatever I'm in the mood for is what I'm going to pick up, even if it's not on this list. So just because it's here doesn't mean I will read it, and just because it's not doesn't mean I won't read it. But these are some books that I'd like to get to in April if I'm in the mood and have the time. So let's jump into the books. So the first book I'm adding to my April TBR is The Regulars by Georgia Clark. This is a book I picked up on Book Outlet, and the premise was kind of interesting to me. So it's about these 3 best friends, and they all live in New York. They're all in their mid-20s, and they're all just kind of average, going through like your typical 20-something quarter-life crisis. And one day they come across this magical potion that gives them the chance to become like supermodel gorgeous. So I think they all assume that once they have this potion and they're all become beautiful and gorgeous and have all these opportunities, that life is going to be perfect. But of course, that's probably not what's going to happen to them. So it's a bit of a longer read. It's a little under 400 pages. So I'm hoping to get to this at the beginning of the month, and I'm excited. I think it'll be probably like a decent star read for me. I'm hoping that this month will be a lot more 4- and 5-star reads than 3-star reads, because I've been in kind of a slump, so I need something that's more than just like an okay book to really pull me out of it and keep me reading. So I hope that this is one of those books. So the next book is one that I'm actually currently reading. I'm only about 50 or so pages in so far, and it's pretty good so far. I've seen a few people reviewing it, talking about it, mentioning how it's like beautiful writing and really important subject matter. And I read The Female of the Species last year in December and loved it. I thought it was beautiful writing, great characters, and such an important topic to discuss. And this book is kind of being compared to that, which I can see on a lot of levels. It deals with similar subject matter. So that book is I Stopped Somewhere by T.E. Carter. You can see my bookmarks here because I started it a few days ago. So this book follows a girl named Ellie who is really badly bullied, just about like her body. She lives in a really poor small town, and her dad is kind of like raising her on his own, trying the best that he can, but they don't have a ton of money. And because of that, you know, Ellie doesn't have the best clothes, the best style, and she's kind of going through that awkward phase of growing up, hitting puberty, and becoming a young woman. And something happens to her. I believe she's sexually assaulted, and after it, she kind of becomes trapped in the space where the assault takes place and watches girl after girl be assaulted after her. And it's kind of written through her eyes and through her stream of consciousness, and it's very dark, but the writing is done so in a way that even though the subject matter is super dark, you don't feel depressed while you read it. You feel kind of hopeful. So hopefully that means that the book has an optimistic ending. But I mean, so far I'm really enjoying it, and I'm hoping to wrap this up in the next couple of days. And it's really pretty cover too. The next book I want to talk to you guys about is one that I'm also currently reading. It was offered through Book of the Month, so I decided last month when I was doing my order just to add it to my box because I knew I wanted to read it and I didn't want to pay full price for it. So that is All Grown Up by Jamie Attenberg. This book is super short, like definitely could knock this out in a day. And I was really drawn to the synopsis. It's basically about this woman named Andrea, and her therapist asks her the question, who are you? Her therapist is trying to help her kind of get to the root of herself. She's an artist, but she stopped doing art. She's moved into like this one apartment in Brooklyn where she's kind of like dabbling with her hobbies, but she doesn't really know where her life is going. She's not really attached to what's happening around her. And it's kind of written through, again, like a stream of consciousness read, and talking about her life and her experiences. I'm really early into this, like maybe 20 pages in. Yeah, I'm on page 21. So So far it's really good. It's charming. The writing style is not my favorite, but it's not bad by any means, so I'm sure I'll have this done also within the next couple of days, and I think it'll be maybe like a 4-star read for me. The next 2 books are going to be my nonfiction reads for the month. I'm really trying to knock out some of the nonfiction books on my shelves lately, especially because I do try to pick books that I think are actually going to be helpful for projects I'm working on or things that I want to do in the future. So it makes no sense just to let them sit there and not be read. And I also really like to annotate books like this. The 2 books that I want to focus on this month are You Are Badass and You Are Badass at Making Money, both by Jen Sincero. I keep saying her name wrong. Is it Sincero or Sincero? These are both been really well spoken about all over the book community and also the business community, people who are trying to become entrepreneurs or freelancers or just kind of do their own things or even just do better at their corporate jobs. They both kind of tackle ways that you can bring your ideas to life, get over your self-doubt, get a handle on your finances, which are things that I just need to do all around. The best thing about nonfiction for me is that with books like this, they tend to read more like textbooks than novels, so you can absolutely be reading one of these and taking notes while you're reading an actual novel without feeling like you're getting your storylines or anything confused. This next book is one that I mentioned in my last Friday Reads video at the end of March, and that is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. Arpan. I wish I would have had time to get to this book in March. I mean, it's pretty big book too, so which is the main reason why I didn't, but I'm dying to read this book. Like, everyone is raving about it and obsessed with it, and the excerpts that I've read are just so beautiful, and I need to read this book. This book is about a girl whose mother commits suicide, and she believes that her mom has become a bird, and it's kind of her journey to figuring out what the truth is. Of course, my fridge starts making weird noises once I start to film. The main character of this book is half Asian and half white, and she travels to Taiwan to meet her grandparents there and also to kind of help her work through this story and figure out the truth about her mom. Storyline, it's mostly magical realism, which isn't a genre that I'm super drawn to, but I mean, I'm just so impressed by what I've seen that I'm willing to kind of step outside of my own comfort zones and really give this a chance. And also another really pretty cover. It's so pretty. This next book I think is one of the longest on my TBR, but it's a short story collection. I'm trying to read more short story collections this year, and this one is one that I also picked up on Book Outlet after I saw it, and I think one of Books and Lala's old book hauls that she had gotten as well from Book Outlet. So it's called Loosed Upon the World, and it's a collection of stories about climate fiction. So basically fictional authors taking what's happening in climate change and the environmental changes that we're experiencing and fictionalizing them. Kind of thinking about what would happen if things went unchecked. I was super drawn to some of the authors. They're all bestsellers. Margaret Atwood is in here, Paolo, I cannot say his last name, Nancy Kress, Kim Stanley Robinson, Jim Shepard. They're all like best-selling authors who are really known for their great writing styles as well. And then the quote on the back I thought was like a really good draw into this book. Exactly how much damage will we do? How deep will these scars run? We don't know yet, but we will turn the ship, just like the characters in this collection. We're fighters. I never want to bet against that. So it's really big. Like, this book is, I think, just under 600 pages. Yeah, it's just like just under 570. So it's a big book, but I think you can kind of do like reading a couple of stories every week or so, maybe like 2 stories a week, and I could probably get through this during the entire month of April, maybe spilling over into May. But I love the cover, I love the premise, and I'm excited to get into it. We have 2 more books to go. Like I said, I know there's a ton of books on this TBR, but these are just books that I want to have like within arm's reach during the month, not necessarily the books that I'm going to finish this month. So this next book, everyone's also talking about it. It's won a few awards. It's won the Orange Prize for fiction. It's a New York Times bestseller, and I mean, it's been a buzz. I've been trying to get out of the library for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's been on hold for so long. I was just like, I'm just gonna buy it. And that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. She also has her second book coming out, I think either this month or next, that I just made one of my book of the month picks. But this book is based in Greek mythology and is the story of Achilles, the best of all the Greeks, son of the cruel sea goddess Thetis and the legendary king Peleus. He's strong, swift, and beautiful, irresistible to all who meet him. Patroclus is an awkward young prince exiled from his homeland after an act of shocking violence. Brought together by chance, they forge an inseparable bond despite risking the gods' wrath. So I always loved Greek mythology in school. It was one of my favorite subjects, and I think it's so cool that she's taken those Greek myths and then kind of created a new story around them. It's new fiction. It's not the same things you learned in high school, and I'm excited to jump into this. So the last book on my TBR is a contemporary read, just because I know that whenever I'm feeling kind of slumpy or I haven't been as motivated to read and I want to pick something up but I just need something light, contemporary is the best thing for me to reach for. Everyone on BookTube and Bookstagram love this book, and it gets pretty good reviews to be just, you know, a lighthearted romance contemporary. So that book is Sally Thorne's The Hating Game. I've had this book on my shelves for, oh my gosh, like it has to be for months now, and I don't know, I always look at it and I always want to reach for it and I just never pull it off my shelf, but I think it's time for me to do that. It's a hate to love romance story about two people, Lucy and Josh. They work in publishing and they hate each other, and then there's a chance for them to both get promoted within their publishing company, but only one can get the promotion, and it will make the person who gets the promotion the boss of the other one. So I think that's an interesting premise for that hate to love trope. Like I said, when it's done well, certain romance tropes in contemporary are completely fine with me, but when they're not done well, that's when I usually will end up like either DNFing a book or giving it like 2 stars. So I think that this one's gonna be good. I trust the people who have reviewed it so far and have liked it, that our reading styles are similar enough that I will like it. And people have said that The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory is very similar to this, and if you like that book, you'll probably like this one as well. And I just finished The Wedding Date and I loved it. I thought it was really cute, like a really easy, light romance that was funny with good characters, so I have a good feeling about this one too. Alright guys, that's it for my April TBR. Comment down below and let me know what book you're most excited to get to in the month of April, or a book that you really loved in March that you think I should add to this list, in case, you know, none of these books end up being what I'm in the mood for and I end up reading nothing again for, you know, another month, which happens. If you haven't already, subscribed to this channel. I post videos every single week, and make sure you read my latest blog post, which is always linked in the description box, along with any books mentioned in this video. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you comment, thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel for more videos. I post every single week, except when I don't. My latest blog post is always linked in the description box, as well as all of my social media where you can follow me: Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. It's always down below, and all the books that I mentioned in this video will also be linked down below. The last wrap up on the blog will be linked in the description as well, so make sure you click all of those links, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.